Hey, good morning, business owners. Today we're going to talk about income generating systems. It's very, very important to set up systems in your business. And when we talk about systems, we use that term quite a bit here at Making It Remotely because we know that this is the best way to make the most of your time. So, a lot of us are solopreneurs. That means that we're running our business as a one man show. And so it's very important for us to find ways to earn money that will make the best use of our time. We don't really want to spend the entire day, every day, in front of our computer. We want to be able to set these systems up so that we can earn money even while we do other things, while we sleep, while we spend time with our family, and while we are networking with other business owners. The other thing that leverage and systems enable you to do is transition out of a 9 to 5 job. So let's say that you're working a 9 to 5 job and you are wanting to, slowly get away from that job and build something that will enable you to have consistent income. Using systems and leverage will enable you to do that. So let's talk about it. Let's define some things and give you a clear understanding of what it means to focus on income generating systems. So, what is a system? We need to define, what that means. And so, a system is a set of interconnected components that work together for a common purpose. Whether those components are physical objects, abstract ideas, or processes. Now, the big thing that you want to know about systems is that systems give you leverage. Systems also help you to create consistency. Those are two things that are very important when it comes to building your business. You need leverage and you need consistency. So now what is leverage? Leverage can mean a lot of different things, but when it comes to business, leverage allows you to save time and money. So this is the thing. You are either going to be spending a lot of time on your business or you're going to be spending a lot of money on your business without leverage. So, a lot of people who don't have leverage spend the entire day without really making money. They can spend the entire day, every day on their computer and not make money. And that leads to frustration, it leads to burnout, and it leads to a lot of businesses going under. So when you think about the fact that if you walk away from your business, and this is a question you have to ask yourself, when you walk away from your business, does it come to a complete stop? And if you were to get sick, or if someone in your family were to get sick, or if you had some other obligations that took you away from your screen or your phone or, whatever you do to make money from a physical perspective, what would happen to your business? If you were not able to sit in front of your computer every day and do whatever it is that you do, what would happen to your business? That is the big question. So leverage enables you to step away from your business and have it work even though you're not physically present. So one of the big questions that you need to ask yourself is, how do you make money? What do you sell? What are the activities that actually place money in your bank account? A lot of us spend time with, and this is what my article kind of talks about, and that is we spend a lot of time being busy, but does that busyness result in, money going into our bank account? So how you spend your time, again, you can spend money and get others, like hire people who will, perform activities for you. You can spend money on that. You can spend money on tools. you can spend money that will make up for the fact that maybe you're not able to sit in front of your computer all day, every day. That's how some business owners handle it. They just outsource the task that they need to accomplish every day, but they have a clear understanding of what those tasks are. And you can be very productive if you have a system. Again, you still need systems even when you bring people in like freelancers or people who do specific tasks for you. You're still going to need a system because those folks need to be trained and they need to, know what you want them to do. So you still, as a business owner, it's your responsibility to make sure that you understand the tasks that bring in money versus the tasks that don't bring in money. So this is where a lot of business owners kind of struggle because when I talk to some business owners, it really takes them a while to tell me. If I say, how do you make money? They go through this long, drawn out, convoluted explanation, when really what we need as business owners, we need that 30-second elevator pitch that tells people who we are, what we do, and how we help. So that might be one of the first things, if you're struggling with your business, that might be one of the first things that you want to do is come up with what you do, what you sell, how you help people, who you are, what is your business about. And when you have a clear understanding of what your business is about, that is really going to help you to create content that will get the message out to the right people. When you know who you help, that's going to help you help them even more. All right, so now that we've kind of outlined, how you make money and you're thinking about how you make money, now let's talk about ways that you can have a bigger impact on your bottom line. So you want to focus on those activities that bring in money to your bank account. You want to focus on those activities that will help you to get results. When you can see results, then that's going to make you feel a lot better about what you're doing every day. You're going to feel that you're on the right track. You're going to, and then eventually, even if, let's say, you're not seeing money right away, but you are seeing where you're on the path to making money, that is also going to make you feel a lot better than when you have no idea, you really don't have a good handle on how you make money. What are those, step 1, step 2, step 3 type things that you do every single day, knowing that when you do these activities, you are going to have money coming into your account. So here are some of the income generating systems that we talk about here at Making It Remotely. And it's very important when you're a creative business owner. Let's say that you sew, or let's say that you are crocheting or knitting or painting or sculpting, or you're doing something creative. You have maybe a photography business or whatever. Unless you're doing whatever that is and you're selling it, then you could do it all day. Like I could sit here, if I'm a photographer, I can sit here all day and take pictures. But unless those pictures are bringing money into my bank account, that's more like a hobby. So yeah, I could go outside and just shoot all kinds of wonderful photos, right? If you're someone who knits, you can have a house full of knitted items that you have made. But until you sell those items, until you take some kind of activity, until you perform some kind of activity that gets those products sold to people who want them, then those items have what we call potential. They have earning potential, but they're not, in reality, they're not making you any money. So here are some of the things that you can do. You can set up a blog. And I recommend, even if, let's say that you are doing, maybe you're someone who knits and crochets, maybe you're going to a lot of craft fairs and you're meeting people one-on-one and you're selling your stuff that way. I would still recommend having a blog or an e-commerce shop. Now, a blog or an e-commerce shop is a income generating system. Okay, so a blog or an e-commerce shop is considered a selling system. So every business needs an online selling system so that even when you're at those craft fairs or those trade shows or whatever it is that you're doing face to face, you can still send people to your blog or to your e-commerce shop and they can buy even after they have interacted with you in person. If you're someone who does webinars, maybe you do in-person, talks or workshops or whatever, when you have a blog or an e-commerce shop, you can still send people to that blog or e-commerce shop so that they can buy from you. So that blog or that e-commerce shop is going to be working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never goes to sleep. It never goes on vacation. And you will be able to sell from that as long as you are driving traffic. If you're referring people to that blog or that website. Social media is also a system. And if you are just like, onesie, twosie, posting here and there and it's random and you have no plan, you have no strategy for your social media, then you are not using leverage. You're not creating systems. So people who create systems for their social media accounts are building leverage. They're generating they're using social media as a system to attract people, to inform people, to get people on their list. And we'll talk about, list building here in a moment, but they're using social media. So social media gives businesses leverage. And what we normally teach here at Making It Remotely is that you can attract people to your business who have never heard of you before using social media. You can also educate people. So a lot of times people will go through a buying process. They become aware that they have a problem. They look for solutions. When they find those solutions, they may compare one solution to another. So someone may find you online and like what they see, but they may also compare what you do to your competitors. So the thing that you want to do is you want to leverage social media so that it is working on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You want to set up those social media systems. And when we talk about social media systems, we're talking about auto posting, setting up automation that actually posts for you on social media, leading people to your business. Okay. So then social media becomes part of what we call a funnel. So social media is going to be at the beginning of your funnel to educate, to attract, to make people aware. And then once they are aware and they're in your lead generation system, which kind of segues into email. So when someone joins your email list, they become what we call a lead. So they go from someone who follows you on social media to someone that you can actually talk to about your business. So email enables you to have a conversation, build a relationship, and actually have ongoing dialogue with your audience, with people who are actually interested in what you have to offer. So social media attracts people. This is your attraction system. Email is your follow-up system. And your relationship via email is going to follow that customer, all the way through to when they decide to buy. And even after they buy, you want to retain people who buy from you. So this is really email. Believe it or not, email is one of the most important things that you can set up in your business so that you can, once you attract someone, you can start that conversation. We all want people to talk to about our business, right? And a lot of times as new business owners, we go about it the wrong way. We DM complete strangers. We run down our friends and family. We tell everybody at work that we're selling this, that, or the other. And then we, hope that people at work or the people that we're related to or our friends and family or whoever, we're hoping that those people are going to buy something from us. That's kind of a passive way to start a business. Starting a business with an engaged audience of people who know, like, and trust you is going to take your business a lot further than when you are just kind of hoping and crossing your fingers and praying that someone buys from you. When you're in that scenario, when you're praying that somebody buys something from you, then what's happening is you're stressed out every single month because you're thinking, am I going to make money this month? Am I not going to make anything at all? But when you have a system, a social media system that consistently attracts people to you, and then you have an email system that picks the ball up once someone is attracted and carries them, throughout the buying process and throughout the retention process, you can have customers for life. Now, the other things that will have a direct impact on your income is when you do live videos. So a lot of people do Facebook lives, they stream live, and they do things like Q&A or they'll do webinars. And that is another way that a lot of times at the end of the webinar, there'll be a product that you might want to promote. And you would be surprised at the number of people that will buy your product after they have gone to one of your your webinars or your live Q&As. What the live Q&As do is answers questions that people have before they buy. So a lot of us have questions like if we are working with a company that we have never seen before, we're kind of maybe leery about that company. We don't really know that much about them. When you do a live Q&A, people can decide whether you're a good fit or not. And they can also decide whether it just really brings a lot of legitimacy to your business. So doing live Q&As will answer the questions that your ideal customers have, and it helps to alleviate any skepticism they may have. Webinars do the same thing. They do a really good job of explaining. Webinars are really great when it comes to explaining. And so you'll see people do webinars and live video, and those are things that also bring in income. Podcasts are another way where people will bring in guests, or there'll be like a one-man podcast where they do it, by themselves, and they focus on educating, informing, and really building that know, like, and trust factor with their audience. And that's what a podcast can do for your business. Usually, doing a podcast episode, you may shout out one of your products or one of your sponsors or one of your advertisers and lead people to products that they can buy from that company. So that is another way that you can basically bring in income on a consistent basis to your business. Now, you also want to execute things like ongoing sales strategies, link tracking, and reporting. Reporting is going to be your best friend. Data is going to be your best friend because that's going to tell you what's working in your business and it's going to tell you what's not working. So when you start doing things like tracking your links, and you want to have links to everything you sell. If you have 500 products in your catalog, of course you're not going to have 500 links unless you have someone, that you've maybe outsourced that to. But you want to maybe pick out your 10 best selling products, and you want to create links for those products, and or 10 products that you really want to sell, products that you think will be very profitable for you. You can use links, and you can track those links, and that's going to tell you whether those products are going to be profitable or whether they are not going to be profitable. But when you do reporting, when you sit down at least once a month and you go over your reports, those reports are going to be like gold, because they're going to tell you where people are going on your site. They're going to tell you how many sales you have made from, XYZ product. They're going to tell you, if you have a tool like Google Analytics, you can actually put your funnel, the steps from your funnel, into Google Analytics, and it's going to tell you where people are dropping off. Where are the bottlenecks? Where are people coming into your funnel? And then where are people leaving your funnel? So these are very important things, as well as testing. So testing allows you to test out two different things. So let's say you have a landing page. So landing page A, and then you have landing page B. You can test those things against each other to see which one gives you the best result. And when you find out which one gives you the best result, then you can use that, and you can, start sending traffic to the pages that give you the best result, whether it's sales, whether it's leads. And this is the other thing. So when you have your blog or your e-commerce shop, you want to retire things that are not working. So let's say that you find you've launched a product and nobody's clicking on it, nobody likes it, nobody's buying it. You can either tweak that product to make it better. You can do things like surveys and polls and get feedback from your audience on how you can make that product better. If you don't want to do that, then you can retire that product and maybe find something else that might be a good fit. So all of this works together, and these are the kind of activities that you need to think about when it comes to building your business. Now, we know that you don't just wake up one day and have a blog. You don't just wake up one day and have an e-commerce shop. You don't just wake up one day and have, an amazing income generating social media account or email account. We're not born knowing how to do videos and webinars and podcasts. So it takes time for you to learn those skills and to really become good at doing this stuff. But if you never do this, if you never have a place to send people so that they can learn more about your business, if you never do social media, or you do it haphazardly, and people never become aware that you have all these amazing products, if you never send an email out to build a relationship with your audience, then your business is not going to, it's not going to reach the income potential or the income goals that you have set. So you want to do more of these direct activities. And these are activities that, if performed consistently, will generate at least one sale. And the thing of it is, once you generate a sale, then you want to keep that dialogue going with that customer so that they buy from you and they tell their friends and family about you, and you are able to earn, consistent income. Now, these are the indirect activities that we have to do as business owners, right? We have to set things up, like that blog post or that e-commerce store. We have to get all that set up, right? Our blog doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. Our e-commerce store, we need to make sure that we have optimized that store and made it so that it is really easy for people to buy from us. We need images, we need graphics, we need blog posts, we need ideas for blog posts. We need ideas for videos. We need the equipment to create those videos. We need social media accounts, and we need to know how to set those up so that they attract the right people to our business. We need to know how to make an audio file. We need to know how to do a webinar. So all of these things have to be done in order for us to get the result that we are looking for. So these are not going to necessarily bring in money, but what they do is they support. These are kind of supportive things that we have to do as business owners so that we can have systems and leverage. So these things are indirect. They have the potential to help us earn money with focus and consistency. So you can do all this stuff. Like, I just talked about, I could go out and take a zillion pictures, but unless I sell those pictures, I'm not going to make any money. The same thing goes with creating content. And a lot of us get caught up in creating. So if you're a knitter or a crocheter or a photographer or whatever it is that you do, you probably love doing that. I know for me, I would sit in a room and crochet all day, or I would sit in a room and make jewelry all day. However, I can sit there all day and make these items and have a room full of stuff, or I can get out there and sell it on my platform. I can interact with people on social media, and then that is going to attract people to my business. But if I never take those actions, and I don't even want to be sitting on my computer all day interacting with people, I want to set up automation that does that for me. And then I might want to spend maybe an hour or two a day, going out, answering questions, going through my email, and just kind of being social that way, but not having to sit down and think about, what am I going to post on social media today? You don't want to be making those decisions every single day. You want to have a system, an automated system that posts for you consistently every single day. So you spend maybe one day a week planning out your posts, and then you put those posts out there. You create those images, you create the graphics, or you have someone to do it for you. You create those blog posts, or you have it automated where you can go out and set up, like ChatGPT can come up with ideas for you. They can even write out blog post drafts, and then you can sit down and, wordsmith and really add your own personality and your own tone and vibe to those pieces of content, and then hit the submit button, and and then you're done. And the same thing goes for email. You can set up emails that consistently go out to your audience so that they are always in the loop. You're always communicating with them. You're not just leaving them out there hanging. One day you post and then they don't hear from you again for 2 or 3 months. You don't want that. You want you want your audience to know when to expect you every day. All right. So these are indirect activities that have the potential to make money for you, but you can do these things all day and not make a dime. Okay. All right. So the thing that you want to ask yourself is, how are you spending your time? Are you building a business, or are you busy? And there's a big difference between building and being busy. We can do busy work all day and never make a dime. So we can be, as active as we want to be. Being active doesn't even mean that you're going to make money. Until you're selling, until you're in the process of actively selling, you are not going to be making the money that you might want to make. So what I would suggest is, number one, you want to figure out, are you spending your time doing business building activities, or are you just kind of, staying busy? You can do that at makingitremotely.com/busy work quiz. And there's a hyphen between busy work and quiz. So if you follow this link right here, it's going to take you over to a quiz. It's a very short quiz. You can take it. And then at the end of the quiz, you can also sign up to get information that can help you build. You want to basically put your focus on those income generating activities. And we put together some tools that we think will really help you to do that. All right, so thank you for watching. I appreciate your time today. Have a wonderful day and make it productive.